Well, good evening, everybody. Welcome to the segment of this YouTube channel where we pretend that people actually care about my opinion. Today is a bit of a sad day within the gaming community. It has been recently announced that GTA Online for both Xbox 360 and PS3 will be officially terminated. It'll go offline within the span of the next few weeks. Now, I know what 99% of you are going to say. Who gives a fuck? But if you've played the original GTA Xbox 360, if you played the first gen online, it's a lot different than it is today because they stopped updating it a long time ago, which is a good thing in my opinion because a lot of the updates they've been adding nowadays are pretty shitty. It brings back a lot of memories, playing on the 360. There are still people who play on it. By the way, I go on there on the occasion, and there's actually full lobbies, like one or two full lobbies nowadays of people who actually still play. One thing that's been both an upside and a downside is that in 360 there's a lot less supervision from Rockstar, so it opens up a lot more roads or pathways for modding, and a lot of people on there actually don't really troll with modding like most people do on like PC and stuff, and it's actually seemed to be a pretty decent place. But there's a lot of nostalgia of like when GTA Online first released. I believe it was October 1st, 2013, and I've been playing it ever since. I still have it on 360, but I know I have other consoles now, so I can play it on there. It's a little more up to date and up to speed. But the 360 version, the first gen version, there's just a lot of stuff about it that I will miss a lot. A lot of stuff that I used to go to escape from, what's on there nowadays. We're talking before the MK Oppressor. We're talking before all of the rocket cars. We're talking before any of those futuristic weapons. We're talking about before all those fucking bank heists, casino heists, the Cayo Perico heist. Like, we're talking before all of that stuff. Where you still had that original Grand Theft Auto feel to it, like that OG feel that came with most GTA games, where nowadays I wouldn't call it a bad game, but I also wouldn't call it a Grand Theft Auto game. Like, it doesn't really fit in with any of their other games. It doesn't even fit in that well with GTA 5 story mode to begin with. I much prefer, the GTA, obviously, since it's only accessible on the 360 and the PlayStation 3, I wouldn't say I prefer it, but if that version of online was available for PC or any current gen consoles, I would prefer it, honestly, as long as there's actually people on it. It's funny because I remember being modded by somebody on 360, and I ended up with like an RP level of like a few thousand. Like, modding was pretty saturated. That's like the only thing that I would say about the 360 version that wasn't too good, was that there was like no supervision to prevent modding at all, and it sometimes was cool. Like, you sometimes got a lot of money, but it kind of sometimes, at least for some people, removed the whole like earning concept where you've worked for so long, you've earned things in the game. But it was also kind of cool as well. Somebody modded me. I got like 4,000 RP level or something, and I got like a few $1 billion, and I was pretty set. But once you're at the top of GTA Online and you have everything, there's not really a lot to do. Like, there's not really much else you can do besides plan a bunch of missions. But like, again, what's the point of doing a mission if you're just getting money from it, and you've already probably done those missions a million times anyways? So yeah, I don't know. There's a lot of upsides and downsides to the 360 version. Most of the downsides just being from the fact that it's kind of outdated. But I do miss it a lot, and I'm gonna miss it a lot. And I can understand why it's being shut down, because there's really no financial benefit to Rockstar for keeping it up and keeping it running and keeping it. I mean, they don't have servers, so it can't be too much of a downside. It's still been peer-to-peer ever since it released. So it can't be too much of a downside to keep open, but I can still understand. I can still get why. I mean, if you're only supporting a player base of like a few thousand people, like less than 1,000 people, then there's not much of a point, to be completely honest. But like, I went on there earlier today, and just saw like all the people that I used to play with, all the dead accounts that I used to play with, all the people that I used to message on Xbox Live and stuff on the 360, all the people who I'd used to hop on into servers with. I saw my old character, which I haven't came to in like years, and it almost made me shed a tear. Not really, but like it was pretty reminiscent. It was pretty cool to look back on, and it's just like with any old game, it's just kind of sad to see it go. You know how like some of the Halo games went. Things like that. I wouldn't compare it to when Club Penguin died because I didn't play Club Penguin, but I mean it's kind of like that for some people who used to play it, and then there's the other side of people who just don't give a shit because they have PC. I don't like the new GTA Online. I'm not gonna. I won't be playing it. Most likely, I'll probably never play it. At least the PC version. Once every like maybe 3-4 months, I may hop on just to check it out to see what's up because I'm bored and I have nothing else to do. But that's really about it. But yeah, I'm really gonna miss all that stuff because I mean they still looking if you really do look at it from a bigger perspective, it doesn't make too much sense that they would shut it down because they still are keeping up the GTA 4 multiplayer. They're still keeping that up and running, and that has even an even lower amount of players. Like I've hopped on there several times in the GTA 4 multiplayer, and every single time there's not been a single person in any world that I've ever hopped into. Yet they're still keeping that up. At least I think they are. Again, you can correct me if I'm wrong. I don't know where I was going with this. I guess I just spread the word, spread the news, give my opinion on it. If it stayed around, I wouldn't use it that much, honestly. It's just kind of one of those things where it's sad to see it go. You're sad to see it leave because it played a big role in the gaming community, at least back then in the 2013 to like 2015 era, before like the whole Xbox One and PlayStation 4 version came out. But yeah, I figured I'd just talk about it. See you guys whenever.